Hey GMs, do you run APs and need a place to organize your notes and sessions? Or do you create your own world and need to organize your NPCs and homebrew content? Check out World Anvil, a set of world-building tools that helps you create and organize your campaign setting. Create wiki-like articles, timelines, and even interactive maps for your world, and then use their campaign manager to schedule and organize sessions. Players can join your game to add their PCs and interact with the world in and out of session using the character manager and discussion boards, which include play-by-post options. Check it out.
Grab your holy symbols and watch your backs. We're journeying deep into the darkest corners of Ustalav here on Visit Golarion. Welcome back, everyone. In our last video, we explored the history and mystery of Ustalav. Now that you've got the basics, let's dig a little deeper and hope we don't end up 6 feet under. Ustalav's terrain and climate vary greatly depending on where you travel, with regions of both startling beauty and crippling terror. Here are a few places you might deign to visit on your next Ustalav holiday. Though beware, for this vacation may be your last. Caliphus, the capital of Ustalav, serves as the center of society and culture for the Soyvoda, as well as the political seat. Settled on the banks of Lake and Carthan, it also receives much of the country's trade. Despite all of its vaunted wealth and decadence, such fine things only come to a select few. When that veneer is pulled away, the reality of the city emerges, much like maggots under a rotting log. Home to thieves, con artists, and even serial killers such as the legendary Dr. D, the authorities of Caliphus exacerbate much of this unrest by enforcing draconian laws and stiff taxes upon both its own people and those who visit. Get to know it long enough, and it's clear that Caliphus has as much charm as a corpse wrapped in silk. The superstitions of the past and the innovations of the future clash in the city of Lepidstadt. Located in the county of Violent, Lepidstadt is home to a flourishing university of the same name, whose scholars favor the mysteries of mathematics and science to those of magic. This simple village, marked by nothing but ancient Kellan monuments, changed with the arrival of the Treyas brothers. Their archaeological ventures into the monuments proved lucrative in both knowledge and gold, and soon Lepidstadt grew into a bastion of academic achievement. This hasn't sat well with the locals, who live on the edges of the university's grounds and scoff at their hubris. Not only that, rumors that the esoteric order of the Palatine Eye wields far more influence than they should in the region cause some alarm amongst those who understand the danger of poking one's nose where it doesn't belong. For more than 2,000 years, the place known as Carrion Hill has been home to Varisians, Kelids, Ustalavic settlers, and before that, followers of the old cults. That taint remains, soaked deep into the marshy earth. Carrion Hill gets its name from the fact that the city itself is built on the conquered bones of previous cities, destroyed by wars, famine, and plagues. Primarily, Carrion Hill is remembered as the home of Socorro, the infamous butcher of Carrion Hill, a man who slaughtered thousands in the name of the Whispering Tyrant, and that was before he became a lich. Carrion Hill houses secrets that predate even Tar-Baphon. The old cults that once dwelled here left behind dark traditions that continue to take root. The people of Ustalav live somewhat secluded lives, whether due to a selfish disinterest in others or a superstitious fear of outsiders. This can make travel dangerous. Trust does not come easily here. If you're going to Ustalav yourself, here are just a few of the strange and enigmatic characters you may run into. But beware, for none of them are what they seem. The story of Ristamar Tyriak's life is one of immense tragedy. Desperate to cure himself of the vampirism that both saved and destroyed him, Ristamar had everything taken from him in one fateful night. His fiancée, his future, his family, and even the right to his own death. As a vampire, he conceals his true nature by pretending to be his own relative, traveling all around the continent as the young Count of Varno, searching for a cure for his condition. Ristamar walks a thin line between monster and man, using his determination to find peace to curb the bloodlust that threatens to overwhelm him. Alpon Karamark served as the Count of Violent until he was forced to abdicate when the county chose to join the Palatinates. Embittered by this insult to his authority, Alpon used his alchemical talents to create a monstrous flesh golem with plans to set it upon those who had slighted him. However, time healed Alpon's anger far better than any dose of revenge, and soon he moved on from the Beast of Lepidstadt to other stranger experiments in his private home, Schloss Karamark. As for the Beast, to most he's simply a frightening scapegoat for all the misfortunes in Violent. But in truth, he's little more than a gentle, misunderstood giant, left to his own devices by a careless father. Poor thing. Power in Caliphus lies not only with those born to it, but those too stubborn to let it go. Such is the case with Prince Edward Ordranti and Carmilla Caliph Vaso, the two most powerful people in the Soyvoda. Edward Ordranti inherited his title from his brother at 29, unprepared for the ways of the court. This has resulted in a reign highlighted by conflicts with the nobility of the city. Carmilla Caliph Vaso epitomizes the sinister decadence that typifies this Ustalavic nobility. A woman obsessed with maintaining her youthful beauty, Carmilla is rumored to have consorted with vampires, witches, and other dark powers to create a solution. As the ruler of the city and county of Caliphus, her influence often puts her at odds with Prince Edward, who sees her politicking as a nuisance at best and a danger at worst. A place as uniquely treacherous as Ustalav requires a particular set of skills to survive. If you want to send an adventuring party into the darkness of the nation that was, here's some tips to making the most of the trip. Things in Ustalav are rarely as they seem. As such, travelers must always be on their guard. Creatures of all kinds take the guise of innocuous villagers, waiting for the right time to strike. On the other hand, some of the most frightening beasts imaginable hide gentle, kind souls. Keeping a watchful eye, questioning everything, and following your instincts is the best way to survive. As you might expect, Ustalav teems with monsters of all kinds. Werewolves, undead, vampires, and more call this land their home. Clerics and champions are best suited to deal with these threats, but relying solely upon the powers of your gods may not always solve your problems. To survive, knowledge is power, so be sure to research the beasts you encounter. It may save your life. Many organizations work in the shadows of Ustalav, from the murderous Anaphyrexia to the mystical order of the Palatine Eye. In each, you may find enemies, friends, or both. Consider how best to forge relationships with those that align with your ideals and goals. They could mean life or death. As frightening and dangerous as Ustalav can be, it promises mystery and intrigue for adventurers of all stripes. Just remember to watch your step, and mind your tongue. If you like this video, take some time to like, comment, and subscribe to DD8. We really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Safe travels and happy trails!